Come on, what is a quadrilateral? Anyone?
Or a shape which has four sides.
Is this a quadrilateral? One side, two side, three side, and four side. Parth, is it a quadrilateral?
Sir, a closed shape with four sides.
Yeah, a closed shape or a closed polygon. So we will not call it a shape. We will say it's a closed polygon, right? Which has four sides, is a quadrilateral. So now you already know the basic quadrilaterals, which we've been doing for a long time: a rectangle, a square. In this chapter also, we saw how a square was converted into a cube. Then we saw how a rectangle was converted into a cuboid, right? Now we have different special types of quadrilaterals. The first one is a parallelogram. Parallel. You already know about parallelograms. What is a parallelogram? It's like the name suggests itself. It's a parallelogram, is a quadrilateral whose opposite sides are parallel.
Opposite sides are parallel.
Right. So if we make a parallelogram, we'll have the opposite sides. So these are all special types of quadrilaterals. So the first side is parallel. Okay. And then the other side also is parallel to each other. So that's the first property of a parallelogram. So the first property is opposite sides are parallel. So let me, you can name this. Let's say this is A, B, C, D. One very common mistake you all do in naming the parallelograms or any other figure is always go in a cyclic manner. Either if you're going like this, you go like this in a clockwise direction or in an anti-clockwise direction. So if I start A here and I go in a clockwise direction, I'm going to name this as B. I'm going to name this as C and then this and D. Okay. I cannot do this. I cannot name this A, B, and let's say C and D. This will become wrong. Please remember, if you're going in a clockwise direction, name it in the same manner. So it'll become A, B, C, and D. This is wrong. This naming convention of C and D becomes wrong. Okay. And if I'd go on the other side, if I have A and I go B here, so this naturally, this one, since I'm going in an anti-clockwise direction, this will become C, this will become D. This is the basic concept of naming any kind of a quadrilateral. I cannot do this. This will be wrong. Is this clear, everyone? This is a very common mistake. Why I'm telling you this? Because it's a very small point, but what happens is sometimes in the exams or sometimes in a rush to solve all the questions, we name them in wrongly. So let this quadrilateral become A, B, C, D, what I did earlier. Remember this. So name it in a cyclic manner, right? Now, what are the other properties of a parallelogram? So both the pair of opposite sides are parallel, right? This is the sign for parallel. It's like an arrow on both the sides. Other side, if we have one more, will come two of them, then three of them if we have three lines. All the lines which are parallel to this one will have the same size. All the sides or lines which are parallel to this will have this size. For example, if I have a line here and this is parallel to AB, I'm going to write it with two arrows because AB is it two arrows there. You know about this earlier also. The second property is opposite sides are equal. What does that mean? They have equal length. So AD is equal to BC and DC is equal to AB. So the first one parallel is AD is parallel to BC and AB is parallel to DC. Okay. One more thing you need to remember is if I'm saying AD, okay, now in this side, if I'm going from here till here, that is I'm saying AD. Usually what you should do is you should also do is in the same direction. You should do BC only. Don't write CB. Go in the same direction that we're doing always. Why am I stressing on this? Because when we do congruency or when we do similarity of triangles, this matters. In which direction are we going? So if I'm writing A to D, and write B to C. I won't usually not write C to B. Okay, even though it's technically not incorrect, but try to avoid that. So opposite sides are equal. That means AD is equal to BC and AB is equal to DC. Okay. Third, the diagonals are equal. What does diagonals are equal means? In the parallelogram ABCD, should I just give you the direct one? Okay, so AC is equal to BD. Okay, fourth, and yeah, that's it. Only two diagonals, they're equal. And also diagonals bisect each other. That means if I take this point as O, DO is equal to OB and AO is equal to OC. These are the main properties of parallelograms. Please copy this down. All of you all copy this down. Yes, AO will also be equal to OB, Parth, because the diagonals are equal and they bisect each other.
Okay, sir. If any of these properties are in doubt, please let me know. We can add another one also. We can also add that the opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Okay. That means angle A is equal to angle C and angle B is equal to angle D. So 5 main properties that we can add or we can note down. Opposite angles are equal. Can anybody tell me what will be the sum of angle A and angle D? A and D. 180.
Why will that be? Parth, what is the reason for it being 180?
Sir, the sum of angles on a straight line is 180.
Sum of angles on a straight line. So if I have a straight line here and I have one angle here and one angle here, they add up to 180. No, that's not the correct answer. Interior angles on the same side of a transversal are equal, or co-interior angles are equal, are supplementary. Co-interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary, or interior angles on the same side of a transversal are supplementary. Remember, we have two parallel lines, we have a transversal which cuts through them. So this angle and this angle together are the co-interior angles, and they are supplementary. That means they add up to 180 degrees. So that's the property which is used. Okay, please copy this down. Okay, done. Anybody still copying? Anybody still copying? Raise your hand. Okay. Working further, we also can see that a diagonal of a parallelogram bisects the parallelogram into two equal triangles. So in the same parallelogram, either of the diagonal, it bisects it into two equal triangles. So triangle 1 will be equal to triangle 2. So the areas of both the triangles will be same. Similarly with the other side also. Okay. So it bisects the parallelogram. So this is used in a lot of places where we have to find out the areas of parallelograms, quadrilaterals, triangles, and other shapes. Okay. How do we test a quadrilateral if it's a parallelogram? There are 4 or 5 basic ones which we use, but the most important test that we use for finding out if a shape is, or for concluding if it's a shape is a parallelogram. I'm writing parallelogram as a short for parallelogram. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. ABC. Yes, Sara Bastani, yes. Triangle ABC will be equal to triangle ADC. That's what I just told you. Divide it into two equal parts. Okay. Every rectangle is a parallelogram. So that's why we can conclude it's a parallelogram. Parth?
Okay, sir.
Right, we'll
So
be coming to that. So once we finish all the special type of parallel quadrilaterals, I'll show you a chart in which you will be able to summarize what all common shapes are what. Okay, so but if I give you a quadrilateral and I have to prove that the quadrilateral is a parallelogram, so what is the most easiest one I do is I prove the opposite sides are equal and parallel.
Okay, sir. So this test will also work for rectangle, right?
Rectangle, we usually don't do that because is a parallelogram a rectangle?
No, sir.
So for a rectangle, we cannot. So
90
rectangles,
degrees.
we will have to prove that the
All angles are 90.
all 9 angles are 90, because every rectangle is also a square. But every parallelogram is not a rectangle. So if we use this property for a rectangle, it will become wrong. This
Sir,
is used for a, yeah, tell me.
So why can't we use this property for rectangles?
Okay. Is this property holding true for this parallelogram ABCD, Rishima? I'm given AB, I'm given that AD is equal to BC. I'm given AD is also parallel to BC. So is this a rectangle? Is this a parallelogram?
Yes, sir.
Using this I can show. So, but is this a rectangle?
No. It's not.
So can I use this property for proving that it's a rectangle?
No.
Why? Because the rectangles, we know that the vertices are 90 degrees. Even though the opposite
Okay,
sides are equal and parallel, that is not a proof for rectangle. For rectangle, the proof is that all the angles measure 90 degrees.
okay, sir.
And at the same time, this can be
And
then extended to a square, because we know that square also is 90 degrees. But what is the additional condition we'll have to do for a square? All the sides are equal.
All sides are equal.
So every rectangle which has its sides equal will become a square. Every
yes,
parallelogram which has its angles as 90 degrees will become a rectangle. Every rectangle which has the sides equal will become a square. Are you getting
yes,
this?
sir.
So a
Yes, sir.
parallelogram, so if we have any quadrilateral, okay, everyone listen to this. If we have a quadrilateral, if I can prove that its opposite sides are equal and parallel, it will become a parallelogram. Every parallelogram, if I can prove that its angles are 90 degrees, it will become a rectangle. Every rectangle, if I can prove its sides are equal, it will become a square. Okay. We have a few
And sir,
more
in the,
we have a few more shapes in between, like we have a rhombus, we have a trapezium. We will get into that subsequently once we finish parallelogram. Yes, Rishima?
yes, sir. Sir, if a parallelogram has diagonals which form 90 degrees, then also it will be considered a rectangle or a square.
No, it can even be a rhombus,
Yes, sir.
right? So it'll all vary on the conditions that is there. So once we get into each figure, I will give you the proofs for each of them,
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
right? Yeah. Okay, is this clear? Everyone, please copy these down. In tomorrow's class, we will be doing a few theorems and how to prove them and basically understand these in more little bit detail and go on to the other shapes then. This is a very important chapter because this stays throughout your life, you know, from right from now, continuously, even 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. If you're going to give competitive exam, these are the basics and these are the basis for solving any kind of a geometry related problems, any type of mensuration problems. These properties have to be learned by heart. Okay, so please pay attention in this chapter. Mug up the properties, mug up the rules for proving the quadrilaterals. Any doubts, anyone? Okay, so we'll just take a break for a couple of minutes and continue with science.